Welcome to Tagine making. So this is basically tagine. Now this is the most important bit. Now I'll show you my spice collection, which I'll bring over to the camera. The most important thing is just salt and pepper. Now I do come to Morocco with my pink Himalayan salt. So salt and pepper. Then I've got here ginger. I've also got cumin. It's not saffron. In Arabic it's that, or French it's that, but I forgot the name. The really yellow one anyway. And then this one is cinnamon. I've put different things in different bottles. This is why I'm confused. You could also have some red pepper, so also known as sweet pepper, like a, you know, the really red spice, but I've run out of that one. Now, if you want an alternative, if you haven't got all those spices and you just want to buy something for one time, then this is Ras El Hanout. Now, this is kind of an alternative to all those spices. So this is the one that you can use. The only problem with this one, this has got added sugar to it. So I generally don't use that one. I use my individual spices because I know there's no sugar in it. Okay, right, so let's get cooking. So first of all, have a plentiful amount of your olive oil in the bottom of your tagine. So you can see there, I've probably got like 4 big tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin. I'm going to move that water out the way, and then we are going to prepare our onions. So this is the bit where we're going to get cooking. And as I said, if you want to follow along and make your own tagine in the future, then save this video and it will be great for you to cook along with me. However, should you not have all these ingredients and a tagine ready, if you need to buy a tagine, by the way, you can buy it from eBay, Amazon. They are available there where local Moroccan people or Middle East people are shipping them across. Yes, so my friend Tina has got a Moroccan tagine because I bought it over for her. And it's a great way. It's basically, some people would say it's a slow cooker, but it's not actually that slow, because in 45 minutes you can steam root vegetables and cook meat, like a large amount, a big meal, in 45 minutes. So I wouldn't really say it's a slow cooker. This is why I think it's kind of a steamer stroke pressure cooker. Now we're obviously going to do this step by step. I'm literally just preparing the onions. I know a lot of people would dice their onions. However, in my huge experience now of cooking tagine, I have realised that the onions more or less disintegrate at the bottom of the tagine or get burnt to death. So there's no real, don't waste your energy dicing it up nicely, because it's going to disintegrate anyway, because obviously it's at the bottom, it's going to go through so much heat. To be honest, the bottom of the tagine is also my favourite bit, because it's the bit where all the spices have gone, and also where all the chicken fat and all kind of the tasty bits of the meal have all seeped to the bottom. So I love eating that bottom bit at the end of the meal. And I think it's kind of famous for the Moroccans to dip their bread in the juice at the end of the meal as well, because we all know it's the tastiest bit. So what I'm doing is just peeling these onions. They are red onions. Med bought some giant, my nose is running from the this onion. Med bought some giant spring onions the other day. Oh my god, they were so like spicy. Like, I was crying properly. Right, so I'm just going to clean this little bit. Oh, apologies, I don't actually have a chopping board, so I'm chopping on a plate. And as I said, with the onions, I literally just slice them as if you were making half spring onions, because they're going to disintegrate, and in my experience it's actually quite nice to find a bit of chunky onion that's still in one piece. When I first started making tagine, I was really careful to dice it up really fine, and then I realised it doesn't actually matter. So, as with all these things, the more you cook, the more you prepare, especially dishes like tagine, which Moroccan people eat every single day and seem to cook with absolute ease. Even Ned, who's not really a chef, can knock one up in a few minutes, whereas me, I tend to be too careful. Purely because I value my fingers and my thumbs, where where men might not care too much about getting cooked. Right, so those are my chopped onions, and as I said, I'm literally going to just throw them on the bottom of the tagine. So there you have the olive oil, and that's it. So just throw your onion there. Now, the reason it's so important to have some sort of vegetable at the bottom, especially something like onion, which is quite durable, is because this is going to stop your meat from getting burnt. And again, something I've learned is, as well as that, this is where the juice and the spices are going to turn into something beautiful and flavour everything. I'm crying because of the onion, not because you guys are watching. Next up, we're going to do the peppers. So again, I'm just going to give them a little bit of a wash. If you want to ask any questions, please let me know. Have you tried tagine before? I know a lot of people who've gone on holiday to Turkey have had tagine. Well, I believe it's not like the national dish like here in Morocco. Like I said, here in Morocco, most people eat it every day. Most people, a lot of people even have it twice a day. You can go to the beach and find people carrying a tagine with obviously their food into the beach. You can see them going to work on their motorbike with a tagine. It's literally like the meal, the packed lunch of everyone. My boyfriend doesn't like couscous, but he does love tagine and will eat couscous every single day. Will eat tagine every single day, twice a day, if he could. If I made it twice a day, he would. Also in that tagine pot, you can make your breakfast. So you can make eggs in there. You can also make, I've seen pasta in there. I've seen some sort of oat thing in there. So a tagine pot is not necessarily just for tagine as well. Now, as with the onion, this pepper can be really roughly cut because, as I said, it's at the bottom of the meal. It's literally going to disintegrate. Now, one thing I learnt about peppers when I was reading about the different colours, did you know that the different colour pepper is just how early it was picked? So if it was picked early, it's obviously a green pepper. If it's picked a little bit early, it's a yellow pepper. And if it's left to ripen, it's a red pepper. Who knew that? Isn't that great? So there's Mother Nature working for you. Now we're going to put a bit of tomato. I probably should do that next, because obviously the The more durable vegetables, like carrot, onion, peppers and not, as I should have put the carrot next. But the durable vegetables should go at the bottom because obviously that's the bit that's going to get all the fire. Now, again, I know some of you out there will be like, oh my God, is he not peeling his carrot? Guys, stop peeling your carrots. This is where all the fibre is. The skin in your carrots is so full of fibre. It's a bit like a tomato one. Please, wash it well, obviously. You can see, look, this is washed quite well anyway. But yeah, eat the skin from your carrots because it does contain so much fibre. So I'm just chopping that on. And you can see already, look how colourful that is looking. I should probably bring it over for the camera. But yes, look how colourful that's looking. It's literally like a one-pot Sunday dinner for those of you out there that love vegetables. Now the tomatoes, I'm putting it at the bottom. You can put it at the top though. A lot of people do put it at the top. The thing that I do find about tomato, because it completely disintegrates, because obviously it's quite high water content, that will just disappear and it's more there for the flavour rather than for anything else. Okay, now it's the best bit, it's time to spice up. So like I said, we've got the pink Himalayan salt. We're going to put lots of salt on. Now the good news about salt is, guys, if your body has too much salt, it just wheeze it out. So don't worry about using too much salt, especially if you like something salty. If you have refined salt, then your body won't wee it out, cause a big problem. But if you're using rock salt or pink salt, then you can do that. Next up, we're having black pepper. Now again, I love it a bit spicy, so I am using quite a bit of that. Med will tell me off. He doesn't like things too spicy. To be honest, most Moroccan people don't like it too spicy. It's not like India where they use or Mexico where they use really hot spices. Here, it's more flavoursome spices. So, for those of you who never had Moroccan food, oh, ginger's gone all over me. It's like ginger. Ginger kind of is one of their main spices. It's not really chili. So there's some ginger. Next up I have cumin. Now I always love a lot of cumin. It does make it taste a little bit Indian-y, but if you love that Indian taste, I use a lot of cumin. One ingredient that I haven't got, this is cinnamon. So again, the good thing about cinnamon, if you're putting a lot of black pepper on, if you balance it with cinnamon, then obviously you're getting the balance right of the sweetness taking away the spice. And the last one, which is the yellow one, this is where again Med tells me off for using too much, because when you use too much of this yellow one, everything goes really, really yellow, which I think is cool. When you have bright yellow potato, I like that. Okay, so there's all my spices. What I'm going to do is put a bit more salt on there as well. Because we're using lots of veg today, it's a good idea to add lots of salt to bring out the flavour in all those veg. Right, now let's get that meat on there. Now I've got 2 chicken legs. Now again, this is always a controversial bit where people want their chicken, I know a lot of British people like this, washed. Now I don't normally wash my chicken, but Moroccan people wash their chicken. So just in case Med watches this video later, I'll prove that I have washed his chicken, or else he might not eat it. Okay, so there's the chicken. Wow, that's a massive chicken leg. Now I had this issue the other day. My meat was so big, my lid wouldn't fit. So I do need to be careful. Now the butcher has given me a free bit of liver on the edge of that chicken leg. So Med will be delighted at that because he loves a bit of liver. Not really sure how I'm going to get that. But look, I haven't even put my top vegetables on yet. And you can already see, if I put my lid on now, it would actually be full. So I need to be really careful. I'm not sure whether just to cook one chicken leg. I think I will. What I'm going to do is we'll reverse that. Right, we're going to put one of these chicken legs in the fridge because if I cook two, it's going to not come together. So I've got one large chicken leg on there. Now I have got my, let me just blow my nose. My nose is still running from that spicy onion. So the tagine is starting to look how it should, and then we're going to put on the top bit. Let me just blow my nose, I'll be back. I'm sure you've heard the side effects. And again, when you're cooking, you should wash your hands, especially after you've blown your nose. Right, so what's next? So now we're going to build the top part, the tagine. Now, because we've got the main oil in there, and we've also got the vegetables, which take obviously time to heat up, I'm actually going to turn the heat on now. I could have done this earlier. The thing is, you have to remember, you don't want it to heat up to the point where it's boiling until you're ready to put the top on, because that's when the steaming effect happens. And also remember, when it's hot, when you can hear it kind of the bubbling, that's when you want to put the lid on, because that's when the steam effect starts to come in. Now I can see Vicky's watching. Vicky, have you ever made a tagine before? When Vicky was here, I think Med made it, or did I make it? I can't remember. I'm sure Med made it. Normally I make him make the guests. But when you guests are not here, Med will not make it unless it's desperate and I'm out. Hi Tina, hi Sheila, hi Kay, hi everybody who's watching. Now, I haven't got a potato peeler, so I have to peel in the good ways. Now, if it was up to me, I would leave the skin on. However, I know Med, and he would just not eat it. I made a tagine the other day, and I didn't have any bread for him. He literally flew through a hissy fit. He was like, how am I meant to eat tagine? How am I meant to eat a meal without bread? You know, for his head, he just couldn't deal with it, and he was so pissed off. So, it's like any boy really, isn't it? If you don't make it exactly how their mother makes it, then they're not going to be happy. So I've learned my freezer is now full of bread. So that situation will never be happening again. All I do is just defrost the bread now when he needs it. Because for those of you who don't know, Med loves bread. The good news about Moroccan bread, obviously there's not a lot of preservatives in it, so it's not as bad as maybe in the UK if we eat a lot of bread, because you're obviously eating a lot of preservatives and a lot of ingredients. Here, it's very much like French bread, as in if you don't eat it in a day, it goes hard and stale. And a lot of the bread is just made from flour and water as well. So this is why I'm not too worried about that. Now, I can hear my oil is starting to heat up. So what we can do in a moment. Now I've done this before, I know you can't see it from there, but my actual cooking stove has got a lot of oil on it, because if you put too much liquid in your tagine, it does all spill over. So this is something I've learned. So I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to put a little bit of water on the top. And I'm going to put a little bit, where's my lemon? A little bit of lemon juice as well. As I said, you can use fresh lemon. That is real lemon. And I use quite a lot there as well. Right, so I've got my potato. And I'm literally just going to cut that into 4. Now again, something I've learned with tagine, this is the bit where you've got to make it look pretty. So your vegetables, what you want to do is kind of line them up into a pyramid. We're not in Egypt, but we're building a pyramid. So it's all pointing upwards in kind of that tagine shape. Like that, okay, so there's the potato. We're going to do exactly the same with the aubergine. Vicky, I know exactly what Vicky's thinking. That's very small. Yes, it is very small, Vicky. That is the biggest one they had. They were obviously picking them too soon because they want to take them to market. Or it's a different variety, I'm not sure. So this is the way you can have fun with your tagine, and you can literally use any vegetables you like. When Med buys vegetables, like I buy the vegetables as per I need. Med shops like a man. He goes in and says, oh, can I have a kilo of carrots, a kilo of potato, a kilo of this? So, like the other day, it was a tagine with a whole, just potato, just full of potato, because we had loads of potato to use. So you can actually use whatever you like. So the other vegetable I'm going to use is courgettes. This is the other fun thing about tagine. You can literally put any meat, any veg in there. Like I said, you've just got to bear in mind. Now, because it's starting to really cook up now, I'm going to turn that heat down. Yeah, you can actually put anything in there. For those of you who've been to Morocco before, or been to a Moroccan restaurant, you can have seafood tagine, you can have meatball tagine. They've all got different kind of quantities of stuff, but one thing they've all got in is protein and veg. Normally kind of a tomato and onion sauce. Some have just got that in, and a lot of traditional beef ones that I've seen is literally just meat and veg, which, sorry, meat and onions, that's it. So again, you don't have to have loads of veg, but because I love veg, this is why. Right, so can we see that? I'd love to bring it over to you, but it's getting hot now, so I can't do that. So that's the big bits to make it look pretty. Now, we need to just add the cherries on the cake. So, like I said, I'm going to DP these peas. I know some people have never even seen these in their life before, because they just buy frozen peas. This is how a pea comes to life, for those of you who've never seen a pea before. Never before would I thought I would be DPing peas from scratch, but here in Morocco, you've got no option. You can either do this or, obviously if you go into the big supermarkets in the city, you could buy frozen peas, but here in the village where I live, there definitely isn't any frozen peas, which is a good thing. The other thing you must remember about peas is they're quite high in natural sugars, so it stops you eating too many, because it gets very boring shelling peas like this. I know some people like to eat them raw, and you can eat them raw. I'll just prove to you. However, it's not that good for your digestive system. because it's hard for your body to break down. And I'm sure my mum would say that her and her brothers and sisters used to eat lots. Now, as with everything natural, you can get some slightly off stuff. So that pea pod there was a little bit manky. Kay's saying she's just eating her mange too. Are you eating it raw or are you eating it cooked? I don't know whether you knew, but you can eat mange too raw. And I'm just, for those of you seeing this week's weekly email, for those of you on my email list, I'm doing picnic ideas. And next week we've got another list. I've done a whole list of ideas today. Next week, Kay, we've got mange too raw on your picnic list of ideas to eat. I should say welcome back to live videos. I haven't done a live video for months and months. I don't think I've done one this year, especially not cooking. I was reading something from one of my fellow fitness professionals, and there's a guy that does a 4-hour meditation every day where he just basically just looks at the camera. This is the meditation, is just to concentrate, and he does it for 4 hours and he records it and puts it on YouTube, and he's got like 40,000 followers or something, and that's all he does. And what he was saying is, you know, fit pros or people who are dedicated to what they do a lot of boring crap. Like, a lot of people would say cooking is boring. So this is something I do every single day, is cook from scratch. So this is where I thought, oh, actually, that next time I do that, let's do a live video and share it with you. Now, these are olives. These are green olives. Now, they are depipped, and they're also in kind of brine, like a salt water, like the Moroccans like them. I prefer them fresh, but the Tagine shop where I buy all this stuff from doesn't actually have any fresh ones. For any Moroccan people watching that live near me, if you can let me know where I can find fresh olives. I know exactly what you're going to tell me. You're going to say, go into the forest behind your house and you'll see lots of trees and get picking. You're right. Stupid question. So I'm just going to throw this. And again, if Med was doing this, he would literally just pile it on and just let it all fall naturally. But I'm just trying to make it look kind of nice. So you can hear it starting to bubble away. Because, like I said, we want the bubble effect to steam everything and cook everything, then this is why we're going to put the lid on in a minute. Now, the cherry on the cake, we've got 2 more ingredients left to go. Mashed olives are disgusting, especially black ones in Med's restaurant. My mum, Keith and Vicky have all experienced this. Right, so I think I'm going to leave the Scotch bonnet, because the problem what I've found is it's not necessarily with these really hot peppers, it's the taste. The problem is if I cut it and touch it and then touch my eye obviously is then on fire and like really uncomfortable for days. So this is why I'm not going to use the Scotch pepper, the Scotch bonnet, is because it will irritate the hell out of me. Now, Moroccan people would just put the peppers direct on the top there and just let it cook. I, however, am de-pipping it now, so when it comes to eating it, I can just eat it direct without having to worry about these seeds. I don't know what I'm going to do with this Scotch bonnet. Right, let me just wash the pips away. Let's talk about olive oil. Olive oil dipping bread in, yes Vicky, you're right, it's not that nice. But cooking with olive oil, I honestly believe you can't really taste it. And the health benefits are so high that I would definitely recommend to do that. I think I'm I think I'm just coughing because I know how hot those peppers are that I've just put on the top there. Okay, so I'm going to prepare some garlic, but it's going to take some time. So what I'm going to do is put the top on the tagine and let that start to cook. Now the good news is that does actually fit. So if I'd put both the chicken legs in like I was planning on doing, that lid wouldn't have gone on. The problem with that is it then cooks the bottom of the tagine, but doesn't allow the steam effect, and then the whole thing won't cook, especially the root vegetables like the potatoes at the top. So it's really important that your tagine closes. Now this garlic that I bought is old. He didn't actually have any like really nice looking fresh garlic, so I'm just going to get what I can from this. Now Med loves garlic, and what I've noticed is the more I eat it, because I used to be really sensitive to kind of I don't know, if I ate like one whole piece of this garlic, I thought I was going to stink for days. But the more I eat it, the more I realise it's not actually that strong. I don't know whether when it's roasted, cooked, that the flavour somehow, it's like onion, it goes sweet, doesn't it? So I'm actually turning into a garlic fan. Who would have thought I would say that? So again, I would love a garlic press right now, but I don't have a garlic press. If anybody knows any super ways to skin a garlic, feel free to share it with me. Right, so out of that whole clove, as I said, half of it was a bit mouldy. So I've got 5 big pieces. This is how I figured out how to do it. I chop each end of the clove off, and then kind of just pull the skin off like that. Now the reason I keep wetting my fingers, by the way, when I'm cooking the garlic and stuff, is that I read if you have dry hands when you cook garlic, onions, what happens is the moisture, obviously from the vegetable, goes into your skin and will stay there for longer. However, if your cells are already filled with water, moisture, then it doesn't stay, it doesn't absorb into your skin basically and won't stay for hours. So you won't be stinking of garlic and onions for hours and hours, is what I'm trying to say. Now, in the past, I would have sat here for 10 minutes and cut this garlic into like the smallest pieces ever, because I was scared of like big bits of garlic. Now, I'm just going to pop these big bits of garlic on the top. Mehdi might eat quite a couple. I'll definitely eat them if he doesn't eat them. So again, don't be scared of garlic, especially if you're cooking with it. For those of you who've seen videos of Med in my group, I've got a private group, you'll see that Med will just take the skin off like I am here and just chomp this now. I'm not that much of a garlic fan, raw, which many of you would agree that makes him a No, it doesn't make him a vampire. It means that that's why the vampires don't get him, because he eats massive chunks of raw garlic. And obviously, I really wish I loved raw garlic, because that's really healthy for you. So good for you. But yeah, I have to have it cooked. And I think it's only garlic bread, to be honest, that got me loving it. Oh, one thing I've just thought, if I wash that Scotch bonnet, I might just put it on the top there, and that way I don't have to cut it or handle it yet, so it won't cause any issues. I'm actually quite impressed that we've done this quite fast. Right, so we've got 5 big bits of garlic and we've got 1 massive Scotch bonnet. What's that called, Vicky? Vicky is the professional cook with us. You need a small veg knife. Yes, I do, Vicky, you're right. I had a small veg knife. It disappeared. I asked the boyfriend, where is it? He said he didn't know. But it went missing at the same time that he got his motorbike and needed to fix something on his motorbike. So you work it out. The same time when he's got his key stuck in the petrol opener and the knife went missing. Yep, you work it out. Right, so I'm just going to take the tagine off just so I can add the garlic to the top. So the good thing about adding it to the top, obviously that's where all the steam is going to come. And then I'm also going to put that Scotch bonnet there. Shall I put some more water on at this point? I think I might do. So we'll just put a little touch of water on there, not too much, because obviously a lot of water comes out of the vegetables. And that is it. So what you want to do is leave that for like 1 hour. Now the more I've read about tagines, I'll show you a little secret in a minute. The more I've read about tagines, you should be cooking it on a slow heat for 1 to 2 hours, depending on how much meat you've got in there. And then you want to be leaving it for about half an hour just for all the flavours to absorb, for it not to be burning hot. Because when I've been eating out, and I've eaten before when Med's in a rush, when you eat it when it's really hot, it's just not enjoyable. So it's really good to cook it and just leave it for half an hour. Now, I don't need to use mineral water for this. So this is the top tip. Now, can you see how the top of the tagine has got a hole? Like, what is that for? This is what it's for. Get yourself some water and fill that hole with water. Can you guess? So, when that water has all disappeared, your tagine is ready. Isn't that great? So basically, there's been enough steam and enough heat in the pot to dry out that tagine, which means your meat, your root vegetables, all your veg at the bottom is cooked. Genius. My other top tips, which I haven't got to show you, when you're cooking it on a gas like this, they've got like a metal, it looks like a metal plate which just goes between the tagine bottom and the gas. I have used one before and it didn't stop the bottom from burning, so maybe I need a better quality thing, but that is a top tip that I would share with you. It obviously stops it a little bit. And look, I actually think my kitchen looks quite clean and everything is in there, and it's one pot what am I trying to say? A one pot cooking recipe, you know what I mean. Right, so that is it. I think we've been at this for an hour. Med will be home soon, so we could just sit here for another hour and chat while you cook, but that will be quite boring. So what I think I'll do, I will put a photo or make a little video when it's finished cooking to show you all the results. But that is literally it. So if you get yourself some vegetables, if you get yourself some protein, watch this video and literally make it along with me. If you've ever had tagine here in Morocco or anywhere else, you may find that it's got dates in it, or you know, like fruit and nut. This is very much kind of what you'd have at a wedding or like a big celebration at Eid. So it's not the sort of thing they eat every day. It's a bit like us in the UK. We eat meat and veg every day, and that's what Moroccan people eat as well, just meat and veg every day. So all that sort of thing that you might see in Aldi, where you're seeing the soups with all the fruits and the nuts, this is not normal, and it's not part of a healthy, balanced diet. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Meat and veg seems to be the things in the whole world that everybody eats. So yes, don't be fooled in thinking that you have to spice everything up with things that are maybe extra that your body doesn't need. Right, any questions? If not, I am going to go. For those of you who are admiring my outfit, I don't normally wear this in the kitchen, but I thought I'd wear it today, seeing I'm doing Moroccan cooking. I'm coming back to the UK in less than 2 weeks' time. A week on Wednesday, I'm back. A week on Thursday, I'm back for the week, and I'm going to the Herbalife conference in Birmingham, but I'm doing some meetups with you guys on the Friday and on the Monday. And Tuesday, I'm taking my mum and Keith on towers, so we're getting lots of steps in there. And then on the Wednesday, I'm flying back. Yeah, so Thursday to Wednesday, 6 days I'm back in the UK, which sounds like it's a long time, because the last time I've been coming back, I've just come back for a couple of days, but it will go really, really fast. So yes, I hope to be seeing you all at some point. I've already arranged to have an appointment with Miss Vicky to check in with her on the Monday. Right, that's it, guys. I am going to go. Feel free to ask any more questions as you like. I will answer, will be available, because I'm watching my tagine cooked. And as I said, I will post the results on the bottom of this video so you can see. Thank you for watching. Bye for now. Happy Sunday.